Welcome to the Tales of New Dunhaven. We're now playing with the full Dusk City Outlaws rules, not just the core preview, and we're taking what we learned to run this multi-group campaign even better. This week, the Obsidian crew is playing, which stars Xencarn,
Yep.
Avis,
Hey.
and Smarty.
Hello.
But first, a bit of context. Previously, in New Dunhaven, it's been a few weeks since the Little Museum job and the Bookworm job. A magistrate was forced to resign due to allegations of corruption, a group of rich nobles were implicated and had their assets frozen in the ongoing investigation, and an old commoner retained ownership of his little local museum. But on the other side of the law, something new has emerged. Some say that there's been an expansion to the arrangement, that someone offered something to the Black Council in exchange for the right to broker a new kind of job. The vast majority of thieves are wary that these new quote-unquote leveraged jobs, they're wary of them because they sound like charity work. But finally, a crew has decided to take one on. So, you're all invited to this tall administrative sort of office-type building, as office building as you get in sort of late Victorian era, I suppose. Since Xencarn, you're playing a new character, we'll introduce your characters first.
Yay!
So you climb the stairs up and up and up and up into this sparsely decorated sort of office building, in the center of which is a big conference room. How about you describe your characters and their entrance?
Cool, that's the bit I totally did.
Better you than me.
Thanks. Okay, so, as Spud said, I'm Xencarn. I am playing Darren and Clara Hugh, independent fixers with a twin speciality, which means I essentially get to control two characters, but they all share the same stuff. It's a little weird.
So, one of the things the full rules introduces is the deck of quirks, which I've allowed all the players going forward to just pick one from the deck, with a couple of exceptions. Xencarn has picked the twin quirk, which, if I can go over to it, reads... Twins. You are one of a pair of twins. Are you identical or fraternal twins? Are you friendly or rivals? So the actual effect is 2 for 1. Your character is actually 2 characters. You control both characters who have identical cartels and specialties and share the same pool of luck, though each character takes wounds separately. You still take the lead on only 1 legwork scene per segment, and take only 1 action per turn in drama scenes. These characters cannot grant each other advantage dice by helping one another with a task. So it's just a quirk of his character that his character is a pair of twins.
Super cool. So that's it. Darren and Clara Hugh. So, Darren, being the face of the pair, I guess, is tall, muscular, sort of like raven hair that he shares with his sister, cut short, constantly smiling, sort of pushes the door open, flamboyantly walks into the room, giving, a loud greeting. His sister, on the other hand, is about a head shorter than he is, slimmer, and carrying a crossbow. You can tell from the looks on her face that she doesn't smile. Ever.
She is not a happy person.
We'll get along great.
And she's much more subdued in her entrance, walking in, finding a corner where she can see the door, see everything in the room that she needs to see, and positions herself there.
Neat. And worth explaining, you are a fixer, which is a specialty in the full rules, which is, sort of...
I know how to get things done.
Yeah, you have access to resources and contacts that can help get the job done, no matter what they may be.
Yeah, I'm a broker, essentially.
Yeah.
I deal with secrets, lies, information, people, whatever I need to deal with, I deal with.
You trade in legwork, and, you're kind of the guy who always has a stash of something you might need in, emergency places throughout the city.
It's great.
So basically, the first names again?
Darren and Clara.
Darren just sort of walks in, swaggers in, basically, and Clara just finds a corner with the best view and just skulks there.
She starts brooding.
With a crossbow, yes.
All right. Then I guess the entrances of the other two characters.
You first.
I'm Avis. I am playing Katya, Swift Dragov, who's a circle assassin, and she just quietly opens the door, walks in, and takes the second best corner.
Do you two just sort of glare at each other? Seeing these...
No, there's no glare. There's just eye contact is made, held for
Yeah,
like
a
5
friendly
seconds.
nod, that kind of
For
thing.
5 seconds, both nod, and then she just takes the other corner.
Which just leaves the Beguiler.
Yes, that is me. Hello, I am Smarty. I am playing Trixanna Buckland. And she also gives a very busts the door open, gives a very flamboyant entrance, and just kind of hangs about, finds a nice central place and just stands there.
Center of attention.
Center of attention.
Wow, three players, and somehow we have 2 extroverts and 2 introverts.
I'm the best at this game.
It's
Yeah.
great, though. It's fine.
All right, it's going to be a very interesting session today. So, once you're all gathered, from outside the conference room enters who Katya and Trixanna recognize as Diane.
It's her again.
It's Batman.
And she sort of smiles at
Doesn't
you
hate
all
us
and
yet.
says, "You're here for the job, then."
Yes, Mom.
Well, then let's introduce our client then. And she gestures for someone to enter the room with her. She goes inside and takes a seat at the table. And into the room enters a commoner, just a man of, kind of just absolutely average looks, clothing very simple and plain and a little worn. And he kind of looks around the room and kind of shivers a bit at the 2 dangerous-looking people in the corner.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Katya's still wearing her face mask at all
Always.
times.
Makes sense.
All times.
So he, quickly scurries to the seat next to Diane and sort of stays next to her, facing generally all of you. And he says that these guys are you sure this is really necessary? And Diane gives him a comforting pat on the shoulder and says, "Don't worry, just tell them about your problem." And he just shakes his head and goes, I guess, if they can help, I don't know.
Of course we can help. It's what we do. Fix it by trade, fix it by nature. How can we help you?
You sound like professionals. This is going to sound like really small potatoes.
I'm sure we've done smaller. Well, I'm sure the girls have done smaller. But tell me about what you need.
Cut to reaction.
Very angry glare.
All right, there's
Just
3 players and
blankest
somehow
looking deadpan face ever.
Darren just starts cracking up.
oh god, there's somehow 3 players but also 1 boy and 3 girls.
How did you let this happen?
I'm not sure.
It just happened.
Oh, God.
I love being me.
I hate you.
This
No, you don't.
this twins
I know.
work is going to be real interesting. All right. So, the man says, "Okay, it's about a squirrel."
Excuse.
Is this like a big squirrel? A mutant magic?
Well, it is a white albino squirrel, which is why it was taken out of my daughter's hands by this bratty girl named Stella Piero, whose father is insanely rich and insanely protective. And my daughter's just my daughter is a smart girl. She managed to get into a good schoolhouse. And one of her classmates is this really, she's got a bunch of bratty rich girls to deal with. And then she found this squirrel, and I swear, I never realized before then just how lonely she'd been. But she found this squirrel, she named it Salt, because, I don't know, I guess the color reminded her of that. And she was happy, and then Stella, once Stella's the kind of, girl, she's about, I don't know, 10, 11. When she sees something that she wants, she wants it and she gets it, usually with the help of her father. And just my daughter Emily, she just comes home one day and bawls about how this, salt was stolen. I go ask around, and sure enough, Stella's bragging about her new pet animal put in their private zoo. And I'm like, well, the Piero family, he kind of leans in a bit, almost conspiratorially, and he says, I'm pretty sure he's, got connections to the family, but don't tell anyone I said that. And he leans back and says, this girl, Stella, she does not treat any of her toys well, and I'm worried, not just for my daughter's happiness, but for the animal's health. It's always been sort of weak and sickly, and I'm worried if it stays under Stella Piero's care for more than 3 days, I don't know if we're gonna ever get it back.
So you want us to break into a rich person's house and steal the squirrel back?
He puts up his hands. I don't really want to know how you do it.
You just want the squirrel back?
It's all, like, they stole something from us, I just want it back. And my family...
You're not really fast, how?
My family can't really do anything about this, so I don't know how you plan on doing this, But I mean, like, don't hurt any of them, I guess. I wouldn't want... Or like, give them a reason to think we wanted revenge, so they don't come after us. I mean, I don't think they will, as long as we just get the squirrel back. I don't know.
So get the squirrel, do it discreetly, and no one finds out that you talked to us, correct?
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Oh, this will be fun.
He looks over at Diane and says, I mean, are you sure this is what I need to do? I can't, like, go to the watch? And Diane gives him another sort of rote, comforting pat on the shoulder and says, we'll figure it out. You just go home and tell your daughter that Salt will be coming back any day now. All right? All right. And he, kind of still uncomfortably shaking in his limbs a little bit, gets up, bows slightly at all of you, like not sure how to be properly deferential, and stiffly walks out of the room and, heads out the office door and back down the stairs. Diane clasps her hands and looks around at all of you.
So, a squirrel.
A squirrel.
A squirrel.
Okay.
I had other jobs posted. I'm surprised you chose this one.
When it mentioned like something like this, I was expecting something a bit more extravagant than a squirrel.
Nah, work's work.
Well, here's the thing. My little organization represents clients in the arrangement who cannot, shall we say, pay as well as members of the cartels. So, just for completing the main objective, which is getting the squirrel, you won't be really rewarded in any way, except with the feeling of a job well done.
Clara put the hand up. So, we're not getting paid.
We're not getting physically paid.
Actually, here's the thing, though, and why this particular job might still be lucrative. The Pieros, he's right. He is a retired family... Marco Piero, sorry, the father, in this case, is a retired family basher, a security expert, safecracker, who has started to... who's set himself up now as a consultant and a bit of an inventor as well. Bit of an alchemist now. Kind of a major turnaround. So one, this job will have lots of security that you'll need to circumvent. Probably new, never-before-seen types of alchemical security devices. Two, man is very rich. And his estate out in the country, or whichever holding this squirrel's being kept, I'm certain that a discerning crew can figure out a lucrative side benefit to doing these jobs. And in this case, any amount of liquid assets that you find on his property is probably fair game. Also, since he's a security inventor, a security system designer, any schematics you might find would also be especially valuable, and would also gain you some reputation among the right kind of people who fear his security measures.
I'm in for that, if nothing else.
So, your main target, which carries no reward, is a squirrel, but if you manage to profit on the side, well, that'll be good experience. So there's some benefits to doing pro bono work, huh?
You're not wrong.
Which twin said that?
Both.
Both of them at the same time.
Either, it doesn't matter.
If you're going to do this.
I'm not doing voices. You know what happens every time I do voices. It all goes to
There
shit.
needs to be at least some deviation between one and the other.
No, fuck you.
Hey now. Alright. So, Diane says, alright, so that's the information I have. You have your target, you have your client, you have some idea of the obstacles in your way, and you know who will stand in your way. I guess one other detail is that, as he described, Stella is a greedy little brat, and Marco is just not just protective, but indulgent. It's a sort of, I want that, Daddy, and yes, Stella.
Out comes the wallet.
Yep.
I want it now. Anything for Ruka.
Pretty much.
As long as I was the only one thinking it, that's awesome.
So make of all of that what you will. You are free to use this place as your hideout for the rest of the evening. And she gets up and heads out on her way to let you get to planning.
Gets used until it gets jumped again by the watch.
She Batman's out there again.
No, she just walks out.
That's
Now-
my fun.
Let her be Batman.
I don't think she needs to be Batman this time.
It doesn't really need to be. So one thing I want to do before we start the planning stage, I want to talk about legwork a bit. We talked about this, previously in private chat, but I wanted to sort of say it out loud. Just to remind you. Previously, legwork has been a sort of process where it's like, I want to get this thing. Where would I go get it? And I tell you, well, you could try here. And there might be these people here. And then, okay, I try this. I try that. We do a check. We role play it out step by step, which is usual. The way it's sort of designed in Dusk City Outlaws, though, it should be a bit faster and snappier than that, because legwork, a single time segment of legwork, ends up taking like hour and a half, which is, I don't feel like is really in the design, and ends up stretching on, jobs to part 2s and part 3s, I think, more than necessary. So,
Makes sense.
and I want you to think about this while you're planning. When you start describing the legwork scene you're taking the lead on, I want you to narrate it like it's a scene from a movie. I want you to just lay out your master plan and describe how it goes, assuming nothing goes wrong. You go to this place, you meet these people, you use this, use this strategy, this skill, this technique on them, and you get the thing you want. And then I tell you, it is my turn to tell you, okay, here's the problems with that you'll need to overcome, or here's some extra complications that you might not have considered. And then you deal with them, and then we move on to the next legwork. That should be a lot faster.
Sounds logical.
So when you're coming up with your legwork per day, and you have a time limit of 3 days, so you have a bit of time to get everything you need, find out everything you need. So just keep in mind when you're coming up with your legwork scenes, try and come up with the master plan for each step of legwork. Don't be like, well, I guess I'm going to try do this vague thing, and then, no, try to just tell,
Do it.
Write a chapter of your story, just all the details. That is the freedom you have in this system. So anyway, I'm going to start the 15-minute timer now.
Okay, cool.
Right, so first we need an inn. Well, first we need to
know
find the place.
Where it is.
Yeah.
That is objective number 1. Where is
Objective
it?
number 1, where is it?
Second, get in somehow. Objective 2, locate squirrel. Objective 4, which is attached to objective 3, find anything else remotely close to the squirrel. Objective 5, go.
Get out
And then
with
6
squirrel.
watches the whole plan falls apart as usual.
Well, that's just like half steps all the way through.
Basically.
But yeah, no, first step is to find out where it is.
Yep.
Which shouldn't be too hard. If he's big and pretentious and rich as he is, it's probably going to be some big country estate.
Turns out some like shitholes.
It's
What,
just
like middle
it's
of
just
nowhere.
some shithole in the common area.
So who's best to figure that out?
It's really basic information. Any one of you could probably figure that out. Actually, what are the things you know on your character sheet? I'm pausing the timer.
Give me 2 seconds and I'll run down my sheet.
The right kind of people and the crown.
I know
people,
the right...
entertainers, music, poetry, theatre, like
Play stuff.
culture, essentially.
The right kind of people, the castle, jails and prisons, lot of history, and Vladish.
Tell you what, since this is a really minor detail, I'm gonna say that because the twins know the right kind of people, they know Marco Piero, who was, formerly the right kind of people, still kind of is, has himself a swanky country estate, just sort of outside sort of the urban areas of the city and out in the rolling hills.
Heck yeah, objective 1 complete. We are the best.
Ayo.
So that is the detail you have. You don't know like floor plans or layout or security measures.
Just where it is.
You know where it is. And
I know where my legwork unit is going to be.
So just to clarify, is he still the right type of people?
Not anymore. He's retired.
Damn.
Yeah.
That would be
Was
hilarious.
the right kind of people.
He doesn't
Whether
do
he
jobs.
actually
He doesn't he stays away from his family contacts, so he has plausible deniability. And he's trying to work on the straight and narrow, more or less. I mean, he works on the other side now. He does security. Anyway, restarting the timer.
Okay, so one of the things we're going to need to do is essentially case the joint, right?
Got that.
What speciality is it that does that best?
Me.
Well, look at your skills if you have case the joint.
I do
No, there's a actual speciality that's designed purely for casing the joint.
Not really. I mean, there's thief, which has second story work, so they can get into buildings really easily.
I'm sure there was something. No, maybe I'm crazy.
We'll find it later.
Case the joint is just a skill that, that's 90% for casing the joint as a mastermind is, who has that.
I have 80%.
Yeah.
I don't
is
have
90.
any.
I'm literally made to be running around this place and finding out.
Yeah, it's the mastermind who has 90% in casing the joint, to answer your question.
Cool.
So we get Avis to look around the place, see if you can spot the outside security, and any inside security if you can see that.
Alright, so that'll be one legwork scene. Not a lot we can really do until we've
figured out the area.
Yeah.
Well, he was a family basher, and there's as a fixer, you could probably hunt down people who may know him or his current work. You can just make a legwork scene to just sort of ask among the right kind of people.
So objective 3, find out his background. Cool. Yeah. All right. I'll do that. Trix, are you coming with me or?
Yeah.
Well, just also, make sure Trixanna has a legwork scene to lead.
I mean, I've got an idea, but we need to figure out the security plan first.
Because I imagine I'd probably do this during the day, but that's going into what I'm planning to explain for my legwork.
Because this kid's spoiled and just wants all of the really good, nice, cool things.
Do you want to go catch another squirrel and paint it white?
No, there is one thing that kids are always fascinated by, and that's magic. Well, it's the one that I can't pronounce. Hang on, I wrote it down.
You have 10 minutes. And remember, because of the freedom you have with legwork scenes, you can get as wild and complex and make some assumptions if you like.
Legerdemain. Yeah, most kids are fascinated by legerdemain. What if we offer this kid actual magic? Or at least...
Explain. I think I get where you're coming from, but...
I think I do, but I think I'm cringing.
Essentially, we're going to try and set it up so, it's like I've got this big performance, and then we're going to try and get the kid to be like, I want that, but I want that for only me. And then we're going to get the dad to hire me to host a private magic party for his daughter.
I have the idea then. So you basically, do you want to go find, her name was Stella, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Find Stella and try to make a big show of your magic enough that she notices and has her eyes on you.
I mean, I do that every day, but I'll need to find her.
Specifically, going to find...
Yes, I need to specifically do it around her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems logical. That gives us an in at the very least.
I'm getting into this house regardless.
Well, yeah, but it gives the rest of us an in.
Okay, I think we all got something, at least for now.
Well, you've still got 8 minutes, so you should probably, try and plan ahead.
Right.
Or add more details to your current plans.
Alright, the big question I have to ask is this. Are we just going for the squirrel, or are we going for the extras?
Well, if my hopes are that I'm able to notice the security, find a way in, maybe find any stuff that's relatively close to where the squirrel is, and then make note of it to go when I go back later. Because if I get anything, or I find out anything, it can be in close proximity to wherever this stupid squirrel is.
But if it's security it was security documents and stuff that we were told would be there, wasn't it?
Be in his study, I guess.
Yeah, we'd have to break into the house as well. It's not going to be with the zoo, I wouldn't think.
We'll grab what we can.
Which means we're going to have to be able to make...
When we say zoo, do we mean actual zoo that's not attached to the place, or
I guess we'll find out when we get there.
I would honestly not be surprised if it's an actual zoo.
We're going to end up releasing all the animals, aren't we?
Oh, probably.
I mean, that would be an amazing distraction.
That's how we're getting out. I'm calling it.
Well, yeah, there we go.
That's how
we get out. We just release the animals.
Or, hang on, is that how that works? Yes! Ha! So, as a fixer, I can hire other members of my cartel with other specialities. So I can hire the guy, or the speciality that can control animals.
You're going to hire a trainer.
You can hire a trainer to get the animals to stampede.
We don't need to train them to stampede. We just need to open their cages.
Yeah, honestly, that will probably do it.
Well, I was going to hire, the
I hired the one I made.
Oh, no, I can't, because it has to be a Wardens of the Night cartel.
Yeah.
Damn.
Rip.
I could do Trainer, though. That would actually do about the same thing.
I mean, it's 90% to handle an animal on a trainer.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Oh my gosh.
Well, remember, I know somebody means is when you take the lead on the legwork scene, you can spend 1 influence to gain the temporary assistance of another member of your cartel. And it's for the duration of that legwork scene.
Nah, don't worry, I could probably pull something off.
Also, keep in mind that you have 1 influence each and 1 crew influence.
Yeah, my influence is pretty useless outside of the jails.
Well, you have a
Also,
fixer, so you can...
As a fixer, yeah, we can share influence between each other.
Yeah,
Only
between like everyone in the group, which is cool.
You can trade freely during a planning scene, and not outside of a planning scene.
So do one of you guys just want my influence? Because I will probably not use it.
Well, I don't need it for anything particular. Like, in particular.
I don't think I will. Any of the stuff that I can do with it, I won't need it.
I could call in a favor. Call in a favor from one of the right kinds of people that previously did a job with, which could get me the information I'm after. Would that still constitute a legwork scene? Or would I just get that in the planning?
That's an interesting idea. I mean, there'd probably need to be a scene to... It depends on how you use the favor, basically.
Well, if I wanted to spend an influence so that I could get someone I worked with to tell me who I needed to talk to get the information I'm after.
Well, don't jump the gun, because you may be able to get that information just, yourself.
Sure, but I never spend influence on anything, and I'm excited.
Okay, I'm gonna literally give my influence to Xencarn because I won't use it, and then he can do whatever he wants and still have one.
Woo! Cool, yeah, I'll just call in a favor.
Well, there's 3 minutes left in the planning scene, so... So what exactly... Who and what kind of favor?
Cool, so I'm gonna go after a guy known as... Crap. Names hard.
His name is Crab.
His name is Crab.
Yep. Yeah, no. Actually, legitimately is. He's a brawler. Known for... A brawler, works for the Circle. Basically called that due to, how his enemies react when they fear him. And they hear he's coming. Can't know. And I'm gonna go ask him where I could find information on, if the favor I'm asking is essentially if he knows of a bar or an establishment I could go to that would have people that know the guy we're going after.
Okay. And you're gonna use that to basically get through that legwork with...
Well, no, because I'm not getting the information directly, but I'm trying to find where I can go to get that information more easily.
Okay, yeah. Then I'll just take that influence from you at the start of your legwork scene.
Sweet.
Yeah, okay. You still have 1 minute and 17 seconds.
Anyone up for a really quick round of blackjack?
I win 21.
Damn it.
Alright, if you guys are done, then I'll accept that.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else we can do.
Alright.
Nope.
So then, who wants us to take the lead on their legwork scene first?
Avis, all yours.
Alright,
Okay.
so describe your master plan to me. In as much detail as possible, but also focusing on, the thing you want to get.
Right. So ideally, what I want to get out of this fully is I want knowledge of the grounds, basic of inside, a path from outside to the squirrel, notice of the guard rotation. I literally am ready to spend 5 hours just sitting there watching the guard rotation.
Okay. But how do you get the rest of it? How do you get inside? How do you get the paths? How do you get...
So, first spend 3-4 hours watching the rotation. By then, I've got a pretty good grasp of when people move past certain points, when like someone switches off.
Okay.
And then I'll use one of those like windows to get closer, and then find my path of shortest distance, but also not very obvious to get closer to the house. And it's probably much easier to locate a young girl's room than any other room, I want to say. And I need to stop thinking that the stupid squirrel is in her room. You said it's in the zoo, ain't it?
I didn't say where it is yet. I just said they had a private zoo.
Right. So the first thing I wanted to do was get like a general layout of the house, see if I can locate the squirrel in the girl's room, because it's a small animal. So ideally it would probably be in a smaller area, like the room. And if anything, try and see if I notice there's any particular doors that seem to be a bit more high security that potentially could have stuff in them. And then also see if I can get a better view of what this mysterious zoo is actually in size.
So could you summarize all that for me? You're gonna watch the patrols for a few hours, then you're gonna exploit one of the security windows to get closer to the building and inside. Then you're gonna search the rooms for the daughter's room.
Yes.
And also for the animal enclosure.
Yes. And if simultaneously, while I'm looking in the house for the girl's room, if I notice any rooms that are especially locked, keep note of them.
So basically, you want to sneak around the entire house after watching the outside patrols for hours.
Yes.
Okay. So, you sort of plant yourself. The surrounding area of the estate is sort of green and hilly, and there's a lot of open sight lines, which is a bit of a problem for you. But you manage to find a spot that's sort of out of the way, and no one will come by asking any awkward questions, with a decent view of the house. And you change positions every once in a while as well. And you're able to watch from, dawn's first light into a bit of the afternoon how the house changes. And you see that the security force is rather minimal. And you also know that the daughter goes off to school, drawn by carriage, and the father, he goes off to do his job, he goes off consulting or whatever. So none of the family members are in the house most of the day, from what it seems. At least until the weekends. So the trick is going to be sneaking around the inside of the house without getting caught. So because you did watch things pretty closely, I picture you with like a pair of binoculars or something.
And a notepad.
Yeah. Based on your recon, I will give you 2 advantage dice, but because you don't know much about the inside of the house, and you don't know what guards are inside, what security measures are inside, I'm going to give you 3 challenge dice.
Okay.
So do a roll to sneak around with 2 advantage and 3 challenge. Oh, also, because it's the start of the day segment, 4 heat is on the pile.
If I was a warden of the night, there'd be more.
Also, is everyone in the DCO Spud rolls room?
I am now. I forgot what it was called for a second.
Yep, just joined.
That was 3 disadvantage and 2 advantage, right?
2 advantage, 3 challenge.
Okay. I'm going to have written this in wrong.
No, you got it.
Yay.
So you got a 77, which is a success for you because it's your best skill.
Yep.
One boon cancels out 1 drawback, but leaving you 2 drawbacks.
My awesome rolls continue.
So giving you a couple of drawbacks. And I'm just gonna say that over the course of things, you have some close calls, and a bit more heat gets on the stack. Let's say for a bit of a noisy crime, let's say, what does the player rulebook say?
20 immediately.
Why this?
I'm going to say you left behind significant evidence. I'm going to say another 2 heat on the pile, bringing us up to 6. Also, are you conspicuous in noble districts?
Yes.
Then 7 heat.
I hate life.
Sorry, we'll say plus 3 heat at the end of the scene. It doesn't actually go on the stack right now, but your entrance was a little messy. Someone almost caught you. You definitely disturbed some things, but you succeeded. So, you know of a couple locked rooms that probably lead to a study and a master bedroom. You managed to find your way to the daughter's room, which is very gilded and frilly and is,
Can I just say when she goes in there, she cringes, like, really hard.
Yeah. But you do not find, like, a tiny animal cage in there or whatever. You go out to... And what I've been saving for last, even though it is the most significant thing, attached to the side of the property is a giant half, like, aviary, half animal enclosure. It's this big old round, tall silo sort of thing with open air and windows.
I knew it was going to be in there. I just didn't want it to be.
And it's like a jungle inside. There's all this foliage and trees and whatnot. But kind of going against that aesthetic, there's a bunch of iron bars and cages all around in that enclosure. And there's tigers and primates and rare birds. And
Can we say this is probably where I made a small scene and almost got caught because animals are loud when they get startled?
Yeah. You got close, the tiger started roaring, growling, and that caused footsteps, and you just had to kind of book it.
So it's in there. Okay.
And you did not get a look at the squirrel, though you did find towards the center some smaller cages that were empty. It's possible that she may have taken the squirrel with her to school and would probably return it there.
Okay.
But you don't know that for certain. And that's what you learn. You kind of have a general layout of the place. So, of a couple locked rooms. You found the daughter's room, and you managed to peek your way into the aviary. But not without attracting some significant heat, so there's now 7. So that leaves Xencarn and Smarty.
I'm happy to go whenever you want, Smarty.
Pretty much the same.
Alright. Come on, let's get to where the heck we're going then. What did my old friend Crap say?
Your friend Crap. He pointed you towards kind of upscale restaurant establishment owned by the family. And through sort of his introduction, though not an entirely friendly one, but there's a favor owed here and there, and you sort of talk your way up the chain to a boss who had worked with him, with Marco Piero. So what is your plan for dealing with him?
Alright, so I'm gonna do what I do best. I'm gonna walk in there, confident as I'll get out. Trix, are you coming with me?
Yeah, we're both just swaggering like we own the place.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that's an interesting point. If we're walking in, do they check us for weapons or anything?
Yes, they do. Especially if you're heading towards the back to have a meeting.
All right. Well, I'm assuming they take in Clara's crossbow then. So me and Trix swagger in. Clara walks in a little bit much more demurely, I guess. And basically, the plan is sit down, convince someone as much as I can to get them something I want, and then get out without anyone getting, like, stabbed.
And what is it that you want?
Okay, so what I want to ask him about is who this guy is, what jobs he's pulled, what jobs he's worked on, I should say, and where he is now in terms of respect with the local law enforcement, if that makes sense. Like, I want to know what his general, how the populace is reacting to him, and how, like, the watch is reacting to him if they know he's an ex-con.
Huh.
Get some dirt on him.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the complication is that what becomes very clear in your conversation with this family boss is that Marco Piero was very highly respected, and they're not about to just give you dirt on a loyal foot soldier, even if he's retired.
Aw, I'm adorable.
So, let's see. I'm going to say convince someone with 4 challenge dice.
Cool. Alright. And due to being a fixer and being ridiculously OP, I get 2 advantage dice to any roll I make to interact verbally with other criminals. Yay.
That is true. You are independent, so you do have that, which is why it was a rare class.
That it is. So that's 4d10 e5, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep. Yay?
Waiting.
Are you in the right room? I don't think you're in the
I'm
right room.
You're in the wrong room.
Am I? Because I'm in Spud DCO.
DCO Spud is the one we're in.
Oh, well.
Way around.
Just copy and paste your result.
Tell me that before I hit back.
Oh.
Oh, God, no, it's gone to shit. Smarty, can you make a roll for me with my rolls?
Yeah, what was it?
So 2 advantage for challenge.
Yeah.
Like, rolls went straight to crap to the point where it wasn't loading at all.
2 advantage. What was it?
4 challenge.
4.
Thanks, Smarty.
You're welcome.
Well, the advantage and disadvantage cancel each other out, but you fail.
Can I push my luck?
You can't, because there's already 4 challenge dice on the roll.
That makes me sad. I want you to know that.
Because I was doing push your luck wrong for the first 7 sessions, but now I know better.
I like that previous version.
I have a charisma thing where I can I push my leg?
Sorry, what?
It says I can push my leg when having when trying to convince a lie to someone.
This isn't really a character with luck, damage situation. This is, I mean, if he had any more, room to push it, he could push it. But if you're gonna try and convince someone, you're gonna need a different tactic.
Because it says when I try to convince or lie to someone, I can spend 10 luck to increase my success chance by 20%.
Yes, but in order for you to try and convince someone, you're going to need a different, line of attack.
So what does my failure get me, Spud? Apart from this deep sense of shame and disappointment.
You get the sense that they're not happy that you're asking these questions because it sounds like you're going to make a run at them. And even though they, may not agree with his choice of career post the family, he's still at heart one of their own. And they don't like where you're going with this, and they want you to leave.
Well, I don't want to be a petulant child about it.
Being a petulant child in this situation is the sort of thing that might get you killed.
Yeah,
in the face.
Smarty, help. Use your two smart things.
I'm trying to see what I can... I mean, I can't really do my charisma thing. My other one doesn't really apply except for in combat situations.
You rolled a straight 100.
A straight 100.
Don't even know how dead inside I am currently.
I don't know how glamour is going to work, but
Okay. I'm assuming I can't just make infinite convince someone checks.
No, you get one shot unless you do something significantly different on a different subject. Something like that.
Alright. I have a plan. It's a really bad plan, and it's not gonna work.
as is all of your plans, but go on.
Would he be willing to play me in a game of cards for the information?
Roll for it.
Only
glad I'm not here.
if you have something of significant worth to put up.
I'm a fixer, so I would have... So it would be reasonable to assume I have caches of some valuable supplies, right?
Not on hand.
Not on hand. No. Oh, yeah, and my reputation's in the toilet. I guess that plan. Yeah, I'm out of ideas.
I can't really do anything either.
Can I gamble tricks?
No.
Yeah, okay, I'm officially out of ideas. Like, I don't have anything that valuable on hand.
You do have influence, which represents any number of favors and connections and, material wealth.
Can I gamble influence?
In this instance, I don't see why not.
Alright, all in.
Make a roll.
Don't worry, I did this once and won a bear. I've totally got this.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Alright,
Make a roll to play games
sweet.
with one challenge die, because
only one?
you do not have any room to cheat because your every action is being scrutinized because you're playing against a family boss.
Alright, okay. This was such a bad idea. No, wait, I can cheat. I can absolutely cheat. Hey, Trix! You're a Beguiler, right?
God.
Make me win!
That's not how magic works.
Shut up, that's totally how magic works.
I mean, I can make it look like you won, but I can't actually make you win.
Yeah, but making it look like I won is making me win.
Alright, I'm not sure. Fuck it.
This is going to go horribly wrong.
It is.
That's all my ideas are great.
No, they're not.
So, should I still roll for it and then have Smarty do his thing, or...
No, well, now the actual roll is now on Smarty to produce a glamour that is an illusory card overlaid on top of your actual cards.
I'm essentially trying to make it look like he has a full house.
Yeah. So
And actually playing Go Fish, everyone's just like, what are you doing? How did you do this?
Where did those cards come from?
Don't worry, Smarty, I totally believe in you.
Oh, God.
You already made your crap roll rolling for me, so you've got to face this.
So here's the question. What process do you use to produce this illusion?
I'm going to do under the table magic. I mean, obviously I can't. I mean, I can.
Like under the table, you're manipulating this glowing crystal sphere.
Well, sort of, yes. I have my arms sort of crossed under the table, but they're not actually crossed. I just have because I have sort of like a little suit top. So I have my sleeves just sort of. It looks like my arms are crossed, but I have my arms out of my sleeves,
Oh,
and they're actually just in my they're just holding my bowl, and I'm just doing magic, but it just is like I'm sitting there with my arms crossed.
all right. So make a use sorcery roll with four challenge dice.
Is there any way I can give her advantages on this?
Can't
I don't
you?
know. I mean, I have 4 challenge dice just because I'm doing magic.
You can try your best to just roll with whatever she gives you, and
Alright.
I will give you an advantage for that because somehow that will help. I guess. Sure.
I still get 1 advantage.
Yeah.
Hey, it's better than none.
It's better than nothing, sure. Alright.
God damn it, what did you do?
I don't want to look. I
So-
don't.
So,
Love you so much.
Smarty, you can suggest costs or unintended consequences that are worth 4 drawbacks.
Oh my god, I love you so much.
Everything explodes. Everything explodes.
I mean, it might as well.
What?
Did I stutter? Everything just explodes.
Okay. You
Seriously going with an explosion?
No. I got it. You succeed at making it look like that. You succeed at making it look like that Xencarn's character, or at least one of the twins, got pocket aces.
Yay!
Drawback is there is like a fountain of aces pouring up from the table and just flying in all directions now.
You guys might want to run.
No, I have this.
No, you
Darren.
don't.
Darren stands up, points at the boss, and goes, "Are you seriously trying to cheat me over this?"
The cards flying everywhere.
He stands up and goes, "How dare you!"
How dare I? You're the one trying to cheat me.
Oh, you are so dead. He snaps
Okay,
his
let's
fingers.
go.
He snaps his fingers.
I'm just sitting there as these aces are just pouring out from the table, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything.
Both of you make a roll to run like hell.
I can't believe I rolled this far disadvantage. Christ.
Okay, are we rolling disadvantage on that, or are you just
No,
rolling a straight run?
Just roll straight run like hell.
Am I still leaking aces as I'm running?
I hate
There
all
is
of you.
Say yes.
there is a trail of cards flowing out from behind your cape,
I hate all of you. I really do.
just scattering to the winds before disappearing because into ether.
Everything hurts.
I hate you all. I really do hate you all.
I made my roll. Everything's good.
I made my roll.
You both succeed at running like hell. Eventually, they just give up on you. Bah, they're not worth it.
The car just lands in someone's soup as they're running past.
But then it disappears, so it's all right.
There's an ace in my soup.
Oh my god, yes.
I'm just in this state of disbelief. I'm just gonna go die in a corner. Thanks. I don't know you. I don't know you.
That
I told you my plans were great.
that
No,
may
they're
be
not.
that may be the most catastrophic failure we've had so far.
I'm laughing so hard I'm crying.
Okay,
10-minute recess, please.
yeah. Everybody breathe. Oh,
Say what you want about us, Spud, but you can't say we make the games boring.
hey, I say nothing but positive things about you guys.
Codeman's coming, by the way.
All right, so unfortunately, your contact didn't kind of work out,
Thanks.
We gave it the old college try.
which means it's up to Trix to come up with some results
Oh, Christ.
after shaking the cards out of her cape.
Do you want me to come with you?
No,
Yes.
you've done enough.
If this goes
You've
wrong
done enough.
again, then I'm gonna need someone to bail me out. Because
Fine, I'm in. Let's go.
No, you
I'm
two
like-
together are like a terrible combination. I just trail after you. I will trail after you, and I will pull you out if something happens. But I am not being seen with you.
Ugh.
Yeah, you can all be present for the scene.
Hang on, I need to take my dressing gown off. I've got a hot now. I've been laughing hard. Oh. Alright.
So, Smarty, tell me about your legwork scene.
Alright, so she's gonna, assuming that she's going back a bit in time.
No, assuming, just, you know.
So she's gonna go roughly to, she's gonna go to the school where the kid goes to school, go outside of it, just like outside of the gate, and put on a big show when it comes to about home time. So she's just like setting off pyrotechnics, fireworks, big displays of magic. She's like making things disappear and reappear. She's putting on a big, like, usually she'll start off small and then work her way up. No, she's just broke out the big guns from the very start to get this kid's attention.
And then what happens? What is the goal? What do you get out of that?
She's once she gets like the kid's attention, she's going to carry on with the show, and when the show is finished, she's going to, hopefully that has got the kid's attention, and she's going to pass on her card to give to her dad and imply that she's available for private shows.
Okay, yeah. So, the others have, the other two have arrived at this scene, yes?
Yes.
Though not, may not be publicly as visible as Trixanna, but still sort of around?
I'm around so that if something goes wrong, people are getting out.
She set up a little stage as well, so she's above people.
I would assume the twins are sort of going around, like milling around in the crowd in front of the show, trying to hype people up to like make Trix seem more important.
Probably on a roof somewhere. Let's be honest.
First off, who's conspicuous in noble districts?
Oh, I'm not here then. Goodbye.
I'm not.
Goodbye. I'm not here.
I'm not conspicuous anywhere, provided I'm with another member of my crew.
Okay.
I'm not here.
Which, as a twin, technically I always am.
No, that doesn't count.
Damn it.
Broken.
I'm only conspicuous in merchant districts along the docks, so I'm good in the noble area.
So this is...
Codeman.
So, hey, Codeman, do you want to join in the game in progress, or...
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you updated your character sheet and all that jazz I've been posting in the...
Kind of, yeah.
Got a quirk, story conflict, that sort of thing?
I hadn't worked on story conflict and stuff, but I have a quirk. And also I changed my character from boss to mastermind because I figured it fit better.
Ooh. You know what? Okay. How about you sit tight for this legwork, and assuming after that we do like a planning scene or something,
Probably.
then you can reintroduce your character, okay?
Okay.
Cool. All right. So the challenge for this particular legwork scene is Trixanna, all I need you to do is probably goad someone, I think would be the most fitting, to try and,
oh, that's good.
Either distract someone or goad someone to sort of rile up a crowd, get their attention, yada, 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 as the kids are arriving from school. Xencarn, more of the problem is you can't just start a street magic show in front of a prestigious school in a noble district. Eventually, the City Watch is going to come by and ask if you have a permit.
Which we totally do.
Which I actually do.
Just come this way.
No, she does actually. Like, I mean, it may not be recent, but she definitely has a permit to do magic pretty much wherever she's not conspicuous.
This district is a bit more strict.
Well, She really only needs to be on stage until the little brat comes out and gets excited. So I'm sure we can just work around the guard until that point.
They come in pretty early into the show.
I mean, once she gets going, she's not going to stop until she's done or until
Xencarn,
she passes out.
do you want to
One of the two.
do you want to try rolling to forge a document?
Because that's worked so well for me so far, I absolutely do. What am I rolling?
Forge a document with 2 challenge die? No, 1 challenge die, because it's pretty short notice on the fly to make a, public performance permit. Like, you have the skills to do it. It's just like, oh right, we need this crap, and you just sort of, have to scribble it down.
1 success against 5, and I rolled a 19.
Alright, so that's 1 drawback then. 1 drawback.
Okay, I know the drawback I want, if I'm allowed to pick.
I'm open to suggestions.
I spelled the name wrong.
It has a 1 N instead of 2.
So you're a Trixanna, Buckland, is that right?
Yes. Despite there's a huge sign, like, basically next to him that has her name actually spelled.
May have to cite you for improper paperwork then, because they can totally see that you're...
He just has to look slightly to the side to see how her name is actually spelled.
Yeah, it's on stage and everything. Well, well, other than that, it seems to be in order, but... keeping an eye on you. And they sort of stand by for the rest of the show to, make sure you're not doing anything untoward.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
Anyway, other than that, though, did you roll for your performance?
Yet, no.
Just, roll against 80%.
Alright. Nailed it.
You succeed. Naturally, you distract all the school children. And especially, what was the brat's name? Stella, this sort of, pale brunette, just sort of comes skipping along and says, ooh, yes, very good. That's amazing. I've never seen anything like it before. And, she's just totally enchanted by the, illusions and legerdemain and, the stage magic tricks that, are basically second nature to you.
Yep. The magic, the stage magic, and the actual magic.
So, and the plan is, once you got her attention, you sort of just say, hey.
When she's finished, and the crowd sort of starts to break away, she's just going to give the big swoop, take her hat off, give a big swooping bow, and then snap, sort of reach into her hat, snap her fingers, and then take out a
business card?
It was something attached to the business card. It was like a little toy or something that a kid would like.
Party favor?
Yeah, sure. We go with the party favor. It's just like a little party favor with a business card attached to it.
Okay.
And just hand that to her, smile, wink, and then essentially disappear in a puff of smoke, which is actually just her dropping a smoke bomb behind her.
And she says, no, wait, come back. I want to talk to you.
And she just walks off from, outside of her stage. She dropped her smoke bomb and then just walked backwards, so it looked like she disappeared.
She runs around to the side of the stage and, gets right up in your face and says, well, I'm very smart, and I know that all of that was just all tricks and smoke and mirrors, but that was the best tricks and smoke and mirrors I've ever seen. I don't want to see another show. I want you to teach me. I want to be able to do what you do.
Well, I can indeed do that, if you are willing to learn.
Oh, yes, quite so willing. Please, I insist, you must come to my house and teach me. I mean,
very well.
I mean, there'll be guards around, but yes, I would. You absolutely must.
Essentially do the same thing. Just I take a hat off, read into it, have a thing, and then just take out a little notepad and just be like, okay, let's see. And she's just flipping through it like it's a calendar. It's actually just a completely blank notepad, but she's flicking through it like it's a very busy calendar. She's like, yes, I can do.
She actually smacks it out of your hand and says, I don't care what appointment you have. We have lots of money.
Well, okay.
You'll
I believe my schedule just cleared up.
let me talk to Daddy, and I will tell you when we shall do this.
Very well. You can find me wherever. Just look for the fireworks.
I will. And she skips off to a servant who seems very insistent that she gets back into the carriage.
Just been standing there at the carriage the whole time, like, we just go.
Yeah.
Don't get fired if we don't go.
Pretty much. And there you go. All right, and that's the end of that day segment then. Which, as we go into night, you all want to go just find a hideout, do a planning scene,
Yeah, may as well.
and so you can catch Codeman up, and we can get his introduction done.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have access to the office anymore, so where do you decide to meet up?
That's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked. But before we talk about that, first I'd like to discuss my opponent's policies.
It's the roof.
It's the roof.
Just a roof somewhere.
Yes, a roof.
Yep.
Well,
Just
like,
wherever the closest roof is.
I can toss an influence to get access to a mama-owned pub.
The last time we went there, it got.
A
We got
different
attacked.
pub.
We still got attacked.
We should totally go to the mama pub. I'm with
Same
Smarty.
one.
Yes, exactly the same one. It's not going to get rated twice. That's just stupid.
Lightning doesn't strike twice.
All right. Just so we don't spend forever on this, you go back to one of your old haunts, the Mummer's Run, but someone's using the upstairs bar, so you have to go to the roof. Like someone else,
Yes.
another crew is actually using that as planning for a different job. So they're like, no, this room's taken.
We got to the room, there's just a little occupied sign on it.
Basically.
So you take the service stairs up to the roof and get to go there. And Codeman, your character is also available, so you come along as well. So how about you introduce yourself if you're still around in the call and listening?
And then
Oh, you don't have the sheets and stuff?
I think he's dead.
He might be dead.
Codeman.
We lost him.
His mic's not working, apparently.
Oh. That's not good.
Rip.
That's funny. It's because it was working before.
Yes, it was.
So let's review while he's working on that. You got a lay of the land. You did not get any information from his family buddies, and you do have an in with the bratty child via Trixanna, who
Yes.
to give her stage magic lessons, I guess.
I'm going to teach her magic / blow up part of the state. Depending on how well the magic goes.
Okay.
Depending on how well the magic goes.
Be like, here, kid, this is a firework. Point it that way.
You should never ever set these off indoors, except for right now.
Keep in mind that she's a obnoxious know-it-all too.
Yeah, no, I know pretty much how it is. We're gonna start off with some simple legerdemain, and then I'm gonna. What she starts going like, yep, no, I know how to do that. I know how to do that. I'm just gonna start busting out the real magic and be like, explain that.
just outright magical illusions. Like, oh yeah, it's easy.
There's only again, since I've basically given up on the idea that this is an original character. Let's be honest, it's not.
We
Can you hear me
know.
now?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we got you.
Oh, good. All I needed to do was just plug it in, unplug it, plug it back
Turning
in.
it off and on again.
Yep.
Hooray.
Apparently that's what it needed.
Okay. So, Codeman, I've linked a link to Zip in the group chat.
I found it and stuff. I did update my character, except for story progression. I was thinking about it and I forgot to write it down. So, like,
all right. Well, how about you just reintroduce your character? So, right. How about you say it though, not just post it to me. And I think you cut out again. That's gonna be real entertaining. Anyway, his character is, Alain de Amour, a Vesper, now Mastermind. Originally a boss, but you wanted to change classes.
Yeah, I felt like Mastermind fit it better. And his quirk is legacy. His family's been in the Vesper business for quite a while.
Oh, which gives you an extra influence.
Yeah. And yeah, so he commonly runs parties and get-togethers for the Vespers.
He's an event planner.
Basically.
That's your public persona.
To help get Vespers and stuff, to get contacts with other nobles and whatnot.
Get more blackmail and, yeah.
Get juicy gossip, things like that.
So, how about the other three fill Alan in on what the job is?
We're stealing a squirrel from a small child to make her cry.
We're breaking into a rich kid's house to steal a squirrel back for another little kid.
We're getting a squirrel.
Are you shitting me?
No,
but let's get past that part and move forward.
We are stealing a squirrel.
Also, I am best plans.
A fucking squirrel.
Yes.
Yeah, now no squirrel, but still a squirrel.
Let's not turn this into a parrot situation. Yes, it's a squirrel. Yes, it's silly. Forward.
We're getting paid for it, though, so...
No, we're not.
No.
What? What? Why are we even doing this?
We are
I
not
don't want
getting
to steal a squirrel.
We're not getting paid to steal the squirrel, but if there's any expensive things laying around...
There's potential to get a lot of neat stuff.
Including, like, specialized security plans that we can sell for the crews for lots and lots of money.
Okay.
We're going to rob him, essentially.
Yeah. I get that. Who hired us?
The same person.
Same person as before. Well,
that's basically me and Trixanna saying this at the same time. Same person as before.
Okay. They want to steal a squirrel to make a little child sad.
No,
yeah, basically.
There was already a little child that is sad.
Not focus on this, okay?
There was a small child that is sad because a squirrel was stolen. So we're going to go steal the squirrel back to make that child sad and give it back to the previous child.
Amour, we can only explain that it's a squirrel from a child so many times before I start getting impatient. Let's continue forward anyway.
All right, to
wrap it up, basically, we're stealing a squirrel.
We're stealing a squirrel, and we're not getting
to not wrap it up in a flippant way. You've taken on. There's a new type of jobs out there called leverage jobs, which represents commoners, going up against powerful people who have no other recourse but to seek help from thieves. And the payment doesn't come from the client themselves, but rather the opportunities that they present.
Yeah, fine. Fine, we're gonna help out the commoners.
Well, you don't have a choice in the matter.
What? How do I not have a choice?
I mean,
because you didn't pick this job.
Run.
Because majority ruled at the time, and you were not part of the majority.
Do I count as one or two votes?
You count as one vote.
This is why I lost.
Oh, by the way, just so if you're not aware, Xencarn is playing a different character who are twin fixers.
There's two of them.
Yeah.
What's their name?
Darren and Clara.
Okay.
Is that Clara with a super K?
Are they? What cartel are they?
They're independent.
Oh, great.
Also, they have a problem with Vespers, so...
Join the club. Anyway.
Excuse me for being high class. I can get us into places you can't. So
Excuse
me
for being
from
a
being
pompous
in
asshole.
jail. Anyway.
And
are they, wait,
Excuse.
so is Xencarn the only one playing a different character?
yes, right now, yeah.
Okay.
Give it to him.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I have other character ideas and stuff, but I
Yeah.
figured I'd just play the same one again.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Well, we might be doing something.
So we know
Actually-
basically the entire layout of his estate.
And we
That's
have an
good.
inn.
Thank you, me.
Now we have it in.
Thanks to Drakes.
Okay, so Trix is going to pretend to be a teacher for magic tricks.
Not pretending. She's
We're
actually
pulling
going
pretty
to
much-
teach her magic.
We're pulling basically the same crap we pulled last time.
Right.
When you
It's
have a
just squirrel
And
instead
no
of
one
a
else
book.
can get in.
when you have a Beguiler, every problem looks like a magic show.
You have a guy that every problem is a magic show.
Anyway,
You're not wrong.
since we're coming up on the 2-hour mark, and I don't want to deal with 4-hour recordings at a time, how about we sort of have a little bit of a split, a bit of a break here, take 5 minutes, and then come back, summarize the story so far, and continue where we left off.
Okay.
Cool, I think Avis wants to spend 10 minutes yelling at me.
Anyway, so this will be the end of the Nut Job Part 1.
I came
You're
out.
so
Okay,
ready
wait.
to talk about that,
No, you can't. No.
Yes.
No. You realize that's a movie, right?
Yeah, I do.
You realize that this whole job was based off of Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka.
See
I
you
love
next
this.
time.
Because I suggested it.
Bye.
Next time.
I love this job so much.